she's so charming, and like anyone can see that, and say, and many at least in cities will relate to her. What did you pick up and from where?
I knew about my character was that she's this content creator, and the first thing that I told myself was, I want to find a lot of truth in her and truth in the profession that she does, because it is a very important aspect of the film, right?
Ranveer did in Gully Boy was so incredible, and that helped the film so much. What did you do for this one?
I actually went to all these areas from where a lot of these underground hip hop artists come from.
Yeah.
So Nala Supara met Shakespeare in Gravity, went to Kurla met Nezi, went to Govandi met Vijay Dada, went to Dharavi met Sad Bantais and Hakku. The idea was just to understand why they got into hip hop and what are the kind of things that they talk about.
Tell me about Bijoy. Everybody wants to work with these few filmmakers. Your director is definitely one everybody wants to work with.
For me, I spoke about this at the trailer launch as well. Bijoy sir really allowed me to. This was the first. I'm just starting out, and I of course, like I said, for me, whatever my director says, I want to follow their lead. But Bijoy sir really pushed me to open up and say what I feel about the scene, and he said that this character even better than me now.
When this came to you, what was the first brief? What was the first idea?
Abhishek, who's the writer of the film, actually narrated the story to me. My first reaction to it was just that this sounds like a super fun character to get into. Because Nala Supara as a region hasn't been explored on film.
You have been left here. And the last time you were left on a train, there is something going on with those roles that you're picking. You love this clearly.
The most exciting thing that was, attracted me so much to both these characters and both these scripts, I think it was something that it was a risk.
If a crocodile turns up in a swimming pool, who will be out of the pool faster between the two?
Adarsh.
Because he's quicker?
Yeah.
Okay, so you will be eaten up.
I'll be eaten up.
Right. If both your characters were on Instagram, who would have more followers? You sure?
Yeah. More followers, and there's that small bit, without giving too much away in the trailer also, where I'm like, tujhe collab chahiye na, to be creative. So
right.
It's on him to.
She's like the established content creator, and I'm like the wannabe kind of I want to get there someday in life.
Guys, welcome to Bollywood Hungama. Good to see both of you.
Thank you, sir.
And thoroughly enjoyed the teaser, trailer, everything that you all have put out so far.
Thank you.
Do you want to tell the audience what this is, and do you want to tell us if this is real?
The popcorn is, not the crock, but...
Yeah, because he was eating it yesterday.
I was, and I've been instructed to not touch it today because it's not been changed from yesterday.
Okay. Thanks for telling me now. I would have eaten by now. Right, guys, this is again very unusual, and these are the films that we wait for. कि यार कुछ अलग देखना है. When this came to you, what was the first brief? What was the first idea?
So Abhishek, who's the writer of the film, actually narrated the story to me, and he told me that this is an official adaptation of a Thai film. My first reaction to it was just that this sounds like a super fun character to get into. Because Nala Supara as a region hasn't been explored on film. You don't really know how people, because Mumbai also is so huge. Each area has a very specific soundscape. And I have lived for some time in Dahisar.
Okay.
And spent a lot more time in Andheri and Juhu. So I know the difference of language that there is. So I was just very interested in what does this character from Nala Supara, what would he actually sound like? And, also because hip hop and rap as a genre is something that I probably knew the least about. I was also just excited about getting to know more about that genre of music, and having the opportunity to get into rap, and which actually ended up happening because I ended up writing my own rap and then eventually rapping two tracks in the film that I didn't know I would end up doing.
So cool.
Yeah.
Wow, you get to do fun stuff.
Yeah, and also of course working with Bijoy and Anand sir was something that I wanted to do for the longest period of time.
What a cool filmmaker he is.
Yeah.
Right. Before you get into your character, I want to say I thoroughly enjoyed your first film. I went to watch it at Gaiety Galaxy, I think, and I thoroughly enjoyed your performance.
Thank you.
So what was, when it's an official adaptation, do you watch the original one, or how do you go about it?
Honestly, I follow my director's lead, and whatever he advises, I feel is what that's the kind of actor that I am. And he didn't really find the need for us to watch the original, and I didn't feel like we needed to either. I felt like it's a survival thriller, and certain moments you should keep it as spontaneous as possible. Sometimes even subconsciously you can pick up something which you don't want to. As an actor, I think it's always better to just be free and interpret the scenes in your own way and not have like a preconceived notion or about that scene, or you've seen something similar or anything like that. So I wanted to keep it fresh, but it was. The first time I went for the narration, and Abhishek, like we've also mentioned, he narrated it so well. It was like, I felt like I watched the entire film, like all the images were like playing out in my head. It was such a fun narration, and I felt like it had everything. It had the romance, it had the comedy, it had this chance for, a big chance, of course, for the action, and different kinds of action. You could tell that there will be like fun stunts involved. The underwater sequences, you knew that would also be cool to watch and crazy to do. So it all sounded super exciting, and then I loved the initial, relationship, how these two characters meet, and how they're from these two different worlds. I feel like when I went for the narration, I felt like, the whole of Mumbai has been covered.
Wow.
It felt like that. It felt like it's, in the heart of Mumbai, and it's these two young, people meeting for this collab, and, where it, goes wrong. And I just found it super cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
How is the narration? Like she said, she could visualize the full film when the writer is narrating. A film that has jump scares and things like that. How is that narration? How do you understand these things? Like suddenly this will show.
I think narration is a very specific skill to have. And Abhishek, our writer, is, I feel, honestly, one of the best narrations that I've had was this film.
Wow.
He's very dramatic, he's very expressive. He speaks like the character when he's narrating the character.
Okay.
He'll switch to Avni, and then he'll switch to Alap Lopara in his narration. So it's very evocative of like what the story is and what the script is. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I think that's very important.
Correct.
Like, to be a good narrator is, I feel like, for me, I honestly enjoy reading a script more than narration, but the few times that I've had the chance to do like a full-fledged narration, I feel like Abhishek's narration was one of the best.
Right.
You prefer reading it?
I prefer reading the script over narrations. Yeah.
You?
Narration.
Narration is better.
Yeah.
Right. And did you all do workshops for this? What are these workshops like? Because again, there's another full character here.
Yeah, we did a workshop with Atul Mungia,
yeah, nice.
and in fact, we didn't really touch into the bit of the survival thriller, and the aspect of the crocodile.
Okay.
We worked more on the characters, where they come from, who they are, what has happened to them before this film started, and we did a lot of improvs, which I feel is like the best thing to do, because you're not working on a scene, you're not really fixing on anything. Of course, we touched slightly on a few scenes that we felt like, okay, we need to create a banter, or let's see where we can go and explore. But we were not, fixing on anything, and we were working more on just a situation that was given for these two characters, and what would they do, how would they react. And I felt like that's where we found the characters, and that's where we found the comfort, especially for me at least, that's where I found the comfort with my character, was when I was just free-flowing.
Right.
I remember there was this one improv that he had made us do, where as Ala and as Avni, हम दोनों हाईवे पे, मेरी बाइक खराब हो गई है और ये भी अटक गई है. इसकी दोस्त ने उसको, शायद इसका ब्रेकअप हुआ है, और ब्रेकअप के बाद she's been dropped on the highway, and मेरी बाइक भी वहीं खराब हुई है. So now how these two strangers interact with each other. That was like an improv given to us.
Yeah. It was really cool.
So you have been left here. And the last time you were left on a train, there is something going on with those roles that you're picking. You love this clearly.
Yeah, I was chatting about it earlier also. I feel like from AKG and this, the most exciting thing that was, attracted me so much to both these characters and both these scripts, I think it was something that it was a risk. There's a risk involved. There's something that's new. No one is following any trend that we've seen that, okay, this is working right now. Audience ko ye acha lag raha hai, so we can just tap into something that they are interested in right now, or this phase is working right now. With AKG also, for your first film, it's not the most conventional debut to come in with a blindfold and where your eyes are not seen for the entire first half of the film. So that was something that inclined me, because that's a challenge and it's a risk and it's something that you've not seen before. And then with this also, a survival thriller with a crocodile involved, with this mixed genre that's happening with romance and survival thriller. You've not seen that before. So that again is what excited me about this.
Right. Speaking about both the characters, this again, something is written for you, but every actor I've seen goes and does their own thing. They want to explore, they want to meet people. Did you go and meet people? Not to compare, but what say Ranveer did in Gully Boy was so incredible, and that helped the film so much. What did you do for this one? Because from whatever I've seen, it's incredible what you do.
Thank you, sir. I actually went to all these areas from where a lot of these underground hip hop artists come from. So Nala Supara met Shakespeare and Gravity, went to Kurla, met Nezi, went to Govandi, met Vijay Dada, went to Dharavi, met Sad Bantais and Akku. The idea was just to understand why they got into hip hop and what are the kind of things that they talk about. Just hear their songs, pay attention to the lyrics, pay attention to the meter of each of their individual rapping styles, because I also had to understand just rhyme scheme and stuff for the purpose of rap. So first I started writing rap as Adarsh. I wrote 2 or 3 rap tracks at my house, just used GarageBand on my laptop, produced a basic beat, wrote some basic shit to rap. And then from there I started understanding, okay, if as Adarsh, if these are the things that I talk about, then as Ala, what would be the things that I'm talking about? And then for that I used all my research that I had done during my travel.
Wow.
So yeah, it was interesting, the process.
Wow. And about your character, again, she's so charming, and anyone can see that, and say, and many at least in cities will relate to her. What did you pick up and from where?
For me, I think that the first thing I knew about my character was that she's this content creator, and the first thing that I told myself was, I want to find a lot of truth in her and truth in the profession that she does, because it is a very important aspect of the film, right? That we both are these influencers. And I didn't want to play it in this stereotypical way that people do, have this perception about content creators, or if you create a reel, then you're talking in a certain way, or you're, in that girly zone, because she isn't. She is this complete badass. And I think that one of the techniques that Adarsh also introduced me to at Atul sir's workshop was, animal study, which I had never done before. And we didn't really go too deep into it, but we did have one day where we kind of devoted our time towards that, and that really helped, was choosing an animal you feel your character is similar to. And
Black Panther?
Yeah, Black Panther. And that's the animal that I chose because of the gaze that she has, the strength that she has, how she has this very sensual, charming side to her, and she's confident, and the way she moves. And I think those things, it really helped me watching videos on this animal. We actually even did a day where we performed as the animal. Wow. So you were peacock.
Yeah, so we interacted as a peacock and a Black Panther.
Where did you learn this? And this will also help other actors.
He really introduced me to this, and when I heard it at first, I was like, cool. I don't know if I can do this, and if I'm gonna understand anything about my character, will I not? And I swear throughout the entire shoot, my wallpaper was a Black Panther, just the eyes of a Black Panther. Nice. So that genuinely helped me a lot. And of course, because she's a content creator, kind of just going through a lot of these pages of, the creators that I do follow, and I have been following for a while. So it wasn't something that was too new to me, but it was something that I can now look a little bit more deep into, because I need to research on how they maybe talk, or I realized that when content content creators are making reels, they're not really so lost in thought and they're giving too much time on what they're saying. They're very
quick.
on it. It's quick. No one has time for a reel to be like a minute long. So those things really help me because there were scenes where I'm creating content. So I was playing it in a very like, I'll go into this and I'll, be in this zone or whatever. But I realized that no, creators don't work like that.
Right.
You have to be a little bit, quicker and on your toes. So those things really helped me.
Amazing. Yeah, please explain this. Firstly, where did you learn this and why were you a peacock?
I learned it because I learned it when I went to drama school.
Okay, nice.
Essentially how it works is that you pick a animal or a bird or an insect that you think your character has an essence of. We chose our animals. She chose the Black Panther. I chose the peacock. The peacock because the peacock loves to put on a show. And I thought that Ala Flopara has this showman quality about him where he's very performative. Doing the peacock dance, basically. Took that and used the peacock. How it works essentially is that you do the animal 100% first. So you study the peacock, you watch a ton of peacock videos and you try to get the body language of the peacock into your body.
That's so cool.
And then you kind of walk like the peacock and you vocalize also like the peacock. She was also vocalizing like the Black Panther, trying to growl, And then once you have that, you take that feeling and use how much ever of it in the human form.
Right.
You know what I mean? So maybe at the end when you watch Ala Flopara, you'll be like, but why did he do the peacock and what does he... But maybe in some scene, you will see this certain performative flair in Ala Flopara and then you'll be like, oh shit, this is very peacock-like. The way he's like kind of trying to attract this, peahen in that sense.
Black Panther.
Yeah, exactly. But it was so much fun.
Right.
Even to interact like as a peacock with the Black Panther was like, because we both weren't sure about how this interaction would be.
Right. It's amazing. It's there's so much to learn, right? Like you must have learned something from Vikrant. You learned something from him. There's so much to learn in your field. Does the set every time? Does a co-actor surprise you?
Yeah, of course. I think that's what acting is all about, and I think that's what I really always, whenever I'm reading a script and whenever I'm reading a scene, I don't like fixing on anything. I don't like taking, okay, I'm gonna say this line on like this, so I'm gonna emphasize here, or this is how I'm gonna mark it out, because I like what my co-actors, gonna give me. I like to just be in that moment and be surprised, like you said, of what they're gonna do. And if you fix on anything, then you get rigid.
Right.
But if you just flow a little bit, that's when your co-actor surprises you, and that's when you feed off that person's energy. And I think that's when the fun happens.
Yeah. What did you learn from her? There's so much. Everyone says that in fact, actors who have done one or two films, there's so much to learn from them, like because they are so raw and natural, and there's less of so much that everything that people tell you. What did you learn from her?
I think I learned like a very very important thing from Shanaya for life. In terms of, I feel like Shanaya can experience happiness so easily. I feel like she finds these little pockets of happiness in very things that are insignificant and mundane but are very important. And over a period of time when I feel like you're too bogged down by everything around you, you stop appreciating these little things.
Yeah.
And I feel like Shanaya just has this really admirable quality where she doesn't do that. She doesn't ignore the tiny little things that actually should make you happy and do make a difference to your life.
Right.
And when I saw her do that and have that attitude towards, just the way she leads her life, it was kind of like eye-opening for me.
Right.
Yep.
Nice. Tell me about Bijoy. Like, everybody wants to work with these few filmmakers. Your director is definitely one everybody wants to work with. Actors who haven't worked with him yet, what would you like to tell them? What is he like?
I mean, for me, I spoke about this at the trailer launch as well. Bijoy sir really allowed me to. This was the first. I'm just starting out, and I of course, like I said, for me, whatever my director says, I want to follow their lead. But Bijoy sir really pushed me to like open up and say what I feel about the scene. And he said that this character even better than me now because you've sat with it, you've done the research, you've done the backstory. So you tell me if you feel like you don't want to sit in this scene, if you feel like, you know, Avni is going to walk around, if you feel like this lingo is not matching to what Avni should actually be talking like, change it around. Don't be too stressed that, okay, now the camera and the light is fixed here, so you have to only be in this situation or in this zone. So the way he shoots also, he helps you just free and just flow. And I remember I learned that, you know, every day on set, that once Bijoy sir felt like, you know, even if it's the first take and if you've done it from your heart with conviction, probably isn't the way that he imagined that scene to be, he still will okay that take.
Right.
And he won't say, you know, one for safety, one for this, can we try it in this way, can we try it in that way? No, because he knows at that moment you did it the most honestly and you've given something true to that moment. Right. So let's stick to that. Nice. So that was really freeing for me to just to actually just be.
Right, because every time someone says a safety take, which is important also sometimes.
Very important.
But again, you know, you can't do the same thing.
Yeah, I know, and he just trusts that moment that you've given as an actor, and he is like, no, I got it. I know that I got it. So I felt very free. I didn't. Sometimes I do overthink as a person. I've spoken about that a lot. So he never really came and said, this is exactly how I want this scene to play out. He always said, this is the situation, this is where you're coming from, this is what has happened before. I remember when we were doing a really important scene of the film, the only thing he came and he said that this is what all has happened, guys, before. So now, imagine now this moment that's going to be happening right now, and, you know, play it remembering this. Because sometimes when you're in the middle of a schedule, you're going up, you're going down, you're shooting this, you're shooting that, and, you know, it's difficult to keep track of the whole thing. So he just reminded us that, and he said, I trust you all to just be.
Right.
So
nice.
it was really freeing for me as an actor.
Nice. You know, people going to the cinemas is another ball game altogether. What do you want to tell them? Because that is something that people still find challenging. What is in for them that they should come and watch it?
You know, I just think it's going to be a film that is going to be super cool looking, super edgy looking. You're going to love every frame in the film. I think Remy has done such a fantastic job with the cinematography. Pooja has done such an amazing job with the production design in terms of the pool that we created. We're looking so cool. Gopika has done such a great job with the costumes. I just feel like this is a very cool looking film about two characters that are very unlikely to fall in love, but somehow end up falling in love and then find themselves in a situation of absolute survival. I don't think a film like this has been made in India, at least in Hindi cinema so far. I feel like you guys are in for a treat, and it's going to be one of those films that you won't forget very easily.
So cool. I'm buying it right now. You sold it to me. Lastly, if both your characters were on Instagram, who would have more followers? You sure?
Yeah. I mean, I think when she Miss Vanity, she starts out, and I think the whole introduction also is that she has, you know, the more followers, and there's that small bit, without giving too much away in the trailer also, where, you know, I'm like, tujhe collab chahiye na, to be creative. So, you know, it's on him to...
She's like the established content creator, and I'm like the wannabe kind of like, I want to get there someday in life.
And who's quicker? If a crocodile turns up in a swimming pool, who will be out of the pool faster between the two of you?
Adarsh or Shanaya, or Ala Flow?
as Shanaya and you.
Adarsh.
Because he's quicker? Yeah. Okay, so you will be eaten now.
I'll be eaten.
Right. Thank you so much.
But you'll save me, right? I hope.
Of course.
Yeah. Try to karte hain. Haan. Thank you so much. Really looking forward to this.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.